What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Porter Rock 77 once again, back doing another video. Uh, for those of you, I did my episode 2 of the 60 Frames No Lag podcast on Sunday, 6 p.m. Eastern. It's up on my channel. For those of you who joined, thank you very much. I appreciate it. The topic was the rise of mobile gaming. I had a special guest, Pocket Council, and again, a shout out to him. Thank you very much for joining. But it was a good podcast, and I appreciate it. For those of you who are new, thanks for stopping by. Please check out my other videos. I hope you enjoy the content and my opinions, and it's just commentary in nature and stuff. And check out my first two 60 Frames No Lag podcasts. All right. Anyway, so I hope you like the topic today. So 2 topics today: the launch of the Xbox One S, and just my opinion of what Microsoft could have done different with the Xbox One S in comparison to Scorpio, and my predictions of how MPDs might turn out here on out, and the reasons why. Okay, so we'll start out with the Xbox One's launch. A lot of positive comments on Twitter. A lot of people are picking up the Xbox One S. Great time for gamers. Great time for the Xbox community. Really excited, very energetic, and they're looking forward to playing this new console. Been hearing nice things and stuff about the size and sound and all that stuff. Eurogamer, and I'll put out the link, already pushed out technical analysis. All right, they're talking about it, and guess what they did? They did an actual frame rate comparison of Xbox One S games with the original Xbox One. You know, I know one big thing is a lot of people are saying, "Oh, the narrative changed. Digital Foundry is no longer going to talk about frame rates and resolution," and that's not true at all. You know, and the reason, and they're saying, "Well, if that's true, how come they're not doing it now?" It's because we're in the summer months. The games are slow right now. But wait till October hits. You know, when we have Battlefield, when we have Titanfall 2, November is going to be Call of Duty. You know, guarantee we're going to see Digital Foundry not only push the classic PS4 versus PS4 Xbox One comparison, but now the Xbox One S will be included. And if Sony releases the PlayStation Neo, you're gonna see that, And for a whole year, you're gonna see how the 4.2 teraflop console is outperforming the other consoles. It's just, you gotta understand, Digital Foundry's been around for a while. I mean, they've been around since at least 2007, maybe 2006. You're talking almost 10 years. Digital Foundry's been out now doing technical analysis, and that's all Digital Foundry really is. They're not like the other review sites where they give their opinions on how gameplay and how fun a game. No, they just do straight up technical analysis. That's it. There is no bias. And a lot of people say, "Oh, it's biased." No, you can't be biased when a game is 1080p and a game is 900p. And I know some people are going to say, "Well, you can't tell the difference." Digital Foundry is not saying that either. Whatever you feel you like to see is one thing. They're just telling you the ones and zeros. This game is this game is that. That's it. That's all they're pushing. And they always done that. They've done that last gen, where most of the better performing games were on the 360 versus the PS3, and now it's this gen, and it's gonna continue. So when Scorpio comes out, you're gonna see 4K analysis performance. But anyway, so Eurogamer showed that there is a slight boost to the Xbox One S, but not as big as you think. The CPU remained the same. The GPU, they clocked it faster. It's now at 913 megahertz versus the 856 megahertz, give or take. So it's like a 70 megahertz difference. And then they also increased the max bandwidth of the ESRAM by a little bit. Ultimately, the console now is 1.4 teraflops versus the 1.3 teraflop the Xbox One is. So slight boost. They did the video game comparisons of Xbox and Xbox One S. And a few games received a minor boost of maybe a few frames. I think one game topped out at 9 frames extra, but that's only for a short period. The long term, it was pretty much the same. So you're not going to see most likely a significant boost in terms of frame rate or resolution. I think where you're going to see where things really make it look good is the HDR portion. I didn't read too far into the HDR, so I don't think they got that far ahead into the article, but I'm pretty sure you're gonna see a lot of positive comments from YouTube gamers and the Xbox community. So it's looking good right now They're excited. I'm excited for them. I'm glad they're happy. I'm glad they're enjoying this, and that's what it's all about. You know, I have no ill feelings towards other gamers being happy for their product. So I think it's cool. I think it's cool. It's invigorating, invigorates the scene and stuff like that. So we'll see more. I'm looking forward to seeing my Twitter feeds and YouTube channels and actual, live demonstrations and stuff like that of the games and and the Xbox community's opinion of how these games are. And now comes to my next part of the thing, and it's the success of the Xbox One and how successful is gamers' expectation, namely the Xbox community. So over the last couple of weeks, month or so, there's a huge expectation of how successful the Xbox One is going to be. And some, in my opinion, are going to the extreme. They're saying that, some, okay, remember, this is not the entire Xbox community, but some are painting a picture where from here on out, the Xbox One S is going to outsell the PlayStation 4 and eventually catch up to the PlayStation 4 and surpass it. So Xbox is once again the go-to system for all gamers to go and play games, and PlayStation is just, is going to fizzle out, okay? So what's my opinion on that prediction? My opinion, that segment of the Xbox community that thinks Xbox One S is going to be that successful, in my opinion, are truly off their rockers. I think you guys are shooting for a metric that Xbox One S will not be able to achieve, in my opinion. So why don't I think Xbox One S will be able to surpass the PS4 in the same manner how PS3 caught up to the Xbox 360? That's what they're predicting. Let's start with number one play numbers mathematically. Xbox 360 at its height in terms of, market console, console market penetration, market share, it topped off at 8 million units over the PS3. That was the peak. It peaked at 8 million. And then at that point, it started going down. PS3 started catching up. All right. Right now, PlayStation is at 20 million, at least 20 million over the Xbox One. So let's assume PlayStation 4 just stopped selling. Just stop selling completely. Stop selling completely. And I'm gonna have my little calculator here. Just stop selling. That means not a single PlayStation is being sold from here on out. It just stops worldwide. Whatever, a catastrophe, a disaster, just some type of freakish event. Okay, all right. That means Xbox One S to catch up needs to sell 20 million consoles. Okay, so at zero sales for PS4, and let's pick up a weird number. Let's pick 300,000 a month. Xbox One S sells on average 300,000 consoles a month. Okay, so what is it? 300,000 consoles a month times 12 months equals 3.6 million. 3.6 million a year, right? So 20 million divided by 3,600,000. It would take 5.5 years. You know what I'm saying? 5.5 years just to catch up. If you know what I'm saying, or if Xbox One was outselling the console by 300,000 a month, it would take 5.5 years just to catch up. You know what I'm saying? And that's what PS4 not selling at all. The Xbox One S, as attractive as it might look, is not gonna start outselling PS4 by 300,000 consoles a month. It's just that's just not gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? Worldwide, let's be honest. The Xbox One doesn't have a worldwide presence like the PS4 does. It doesn't have the Asian market. It doesn't have the European market. And the one European place that it does have is the UK, and that's primarily Sony have been. So the PlayStation 4 has been outselling the Xbox One. So even if the Xbox One did take over the UK again because of the S, the rest of the European market, Xbox never really had, ever. Not with the OG Xbox, not with the Xbox 360, and not with the Xbox One. So I don't think that's going to change with the Xbox One S, because at heart, it's a nice-looking console. It's designed HDR gaming, but it's still the Xbox One. It is still an Xbox One. Now, this is where the big difference between the Xbox One S and the Xbox One really comes into play. And this is, I think, where the Xbox community, that group that is shooting for the takeover is relying upon the strategy of the 4K Blu-ray player. It is the cheapest 4K Blu-ray player out on the market as compared to an actual 4K Blu-ray player. And I think that's a strategy, this segment that thinks that Xbox One S is going to surpass PS4 is relying on. That's the apparent strategy. Okay, so let's talk about this 4K Blu-ray player. So you got this 4K Blu-ray player. Who are you selling it to? Well, obviously, people with 4K TVs, right? People with 4K TVs are going to want a 4K Blu-ray player. So let me ask you this, and be honest when you answer this question. This winter and over the next year or two, who are the majority of gamers that are going to buy consoles that haven't bought the current generation consoles yet? Meaning they're still on the 360 PS3. They haven't bought a PS4 of any type, and they haven't bought an Xbox One of any type. So those gamers. Now, to wonder how many of those gamers exist, just look at the PS3 360. PS3 sold over 80 million, 360 sold over 80 million. So at least you're looking at 160 million console sales during that gen, the 7th gen. This gen, PlayStation 4 sold 40 million so far. Xbox estimated around 20 million. So that's 60 million total. So we have around 100 million consoles still to go over this time period, over the next couple of years. Now keep in mind, and of course there's rebuys and broken consoles, so you're looking at a window of 70 to 100 million of people who are going to jump onto this gen. Let's give it a take, okay? Now obviously, if they haven't bought an Xbox One or PS4 by now, chances are these are not 4K consumers. These are not guys or gamers or girls who jump onto the latest tech. I mean, we're about to hit 3 years, and you don't have an Xbox One or PS4 by now, then you are not the big techie, all right? So the majority of consumers from here on out are what I like to call the budget gamer. Gamers who want to buy consoles $300 or less. You know what I'm saying? So this 4K Blu-ray player is not going to be attractive to these consumers, because they don't have a 4K TV. Now, of course, everybody says, well, 4K TVs are cheap. Yeah, and they are a lot. They really dropped in price pretty fast, so there's a lot of deals. But here's one thing many of the consumers or many of you guys are not thinking. Just because the TV is affordable doesn't mean I have to buy it or anyone has to buy it. You know what I'm saying? I bought this TV that's behind me. I bought this TV last year. You know what I'm saying? It's nice. It's a Vizio. It's like 48-inch, 1080p. It's really nice. Small TV. It's a really nice TV. And I bought this last year. So why would I buy a 4K this year? And if I did buy a 4K, what am I going to do with this? You know what I'm saying? I already have a TV in the living room. My daughter has a nice TV in the bedroom. And I have a nice TV in my bedroom. So where would this go? What would I do with it? And that's the part some people in the gaming community don't realize. TVs are not disposable. Only the high-end techies are willing to flush and buy new TVs. But the majority, no. When the majority buys a TV, they want to keep that TV for a couple of years. It's an investment. Most consumers buy TVs as a long-term investment, as a 3, 4, 5-year proposition until when they have to buy a new TV. Millions upon millions of consumers bought 1080p TVs, and many of them are gamers. They bought it last year in 2015, millions bought in 2014, millions bought in 2013. You know what I'm saying? Especially with the spike of the PS3 and Xbox One. That's 3 years right there. Those gamers, majority of them are not going to buy a new TV just simply because of a new console, And then the ones who bought new TVs and haven't bought a console, they're not going to buy another new TV for a console they waited on to have a budget price. You understand? So really the battle of the 4K market is really a 2020 battle. It's not a 2016, 2017, and maybe not even a 2018 battle, And this is where I come to my point of, in my opinion, what Microsoft should have done with the Xbox One S is not include the 4K Blu-ray player. And I know everybody's going to be like, no, that's crazy, you're crazy. Because I know some of you bought it for a cheaper Blu-ray player. So I get that. But hear me out. What is the ultimate point of an Xbox Slim? What was the ultimate point of a PS3 Slim? What was the ultimate point of a PS2 Slim? What are the point of these Slim models? What's the ultimate point, right? The ultimate point of these items are to reduce the cost and release a cheaper product onto the market, so it could be more affordable, more accessible. So now hear me out. Let's say, this is the cheapest Blu-ray player out in the market. Apparently other Blu-ray players are like $200-$300 more, maybe even $400 more than the Xbox One, okay? What if by removing the Blu-ray, the 4K Blu-ray player, and keeping the standard Blu-ray player, right? And instead of these modified controllers, they keep the same exact controller that came with the original Xbox One. No investment, no extra research design, just the same thing, right? Okay? And a 500 gig Xbox One S, they could have launched it at $199. I want you to think about that. A $199 Xbox One S. We're HDR gaming, 500 gig drive, who knows, maybe in a terabyte drive. 1 terabyte drive for $199. How accessible is that? Okay? Who would complain about that? You understand what I'm saying? For those of you who are all up on the 4K bandwagon, I'm not going to say bandwagon, but you want to jump on 4K, that's where the Xbox Scorpio comes into play. That should have been the complete 4K entertainment device. The Xbox One S should have been nothing more than just bringing down the price drop. HDR gaming, I think that was a great move to add, but it should have been bring the price drop rapidly while still maintaining, a competitive edge, still providing, still being affordable and not breaking the bank for Microsoft. Manufacturing process would have been cheaper, which will in turn, you'll be able to release a cheaper product. A $199 Xbox One S, that's your console where you could potentially truly compete with the PS4 and then also push just huge amounts of sales. You see what I'm saying? And that's what a S console does. I think by including a 4K Blu-ray player, you put Xbox One S in a place where it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be for the 4K market. That's what your Scorpio is for. I think Scorpio is your 4K device. Your Xbox One S is simply a redesigned Xbox One at a much cheaper price. And a $199 Xbox One S, that's kind of hard to beat. That is very affordable. It's very accessible. A lot of people will jump on it, okay? So how do I see this pan out in the future? Do I think Xbox One S will win the August MPD? I think so. I think. Also, you have to think how many of these Xbox One S is made, because everybody goes, everything's sold out. They use those terms. Stock has been completely sold out, but how much was in stock in the first place? Because I'll give you one example. When PS3 launched in 2006, and it launched in November, Sony said, "Hey, sold out." They sold every PS3 out in the market, and PS3, everybody wants it. And that was a true statement. They did sell out. But MPD revealed the sales was like 236,000 or something, 240,000. They only launched like less than 250,000 consoles. It's not like it was a million console seller or even a $800,000 console. So it didn't even sell 500,000. It was like literally in the 200,000s. Like that's a regular month in the summer or in the spring. That's not a big deal. So yeah, you launched your entire stock, but how much was in the stock in the first place? So that's the first thing. How many Xbox One S's did Microsoft actually push out for August and stuff? But I would say I think it's going to do very well. I think it's definitely going to go up because you still got the regular Xbox One sales. And combined with the Xbox One S, obviously Microsoft is going to combine them and going to say, hey, the Xbox One family sold X amount, and that could potentially make it the #1 system seller. How do I see this for September, October, November, December? Well, it depends on how Sony plays their card. Right now, Sony's selling their consoles still for $350. Obviously, they'll do a price drop for the winter. The real key here is, will Sony release their own Slim? I don't know. I tell you the truth, at this point, I don't even want to speculate. I think Sony might do it only because, again, what's the point of a Slim? To get cheaper manufacturing costs, and you can reduce the price and make it more affordable, more accessible to the consumer. So it'll be interesting if Sony pushes out during Tokyo Game Show an PS4 Slim, right? You know, now if Sony really wanted to undercut the Xbox One and they're gonna launch the Neo, I would not put a 4K Blu-ray player in the Slim. You know what I'm saying? I would make the Neo stay premium. The 4K Blu-ray player is in the Neo. The Slim, same standard drive, and sell that sucker for $199. You know what I'm saying? Make it have a 1 terabyte hard drive. A 1 terabyte hard drive PS4 for $199 versus a 500 gig Xbox One S for $299. That's gonna be a hard. That's gonna be favorable to the PlayStation 4. Because when people look at it, they'll be like, all right, PlayStation 4, $199, a terabyte, Xbox One S, 500 gig, $299. Why is this $100 more than that one? And people, you know, despite the fact that it has half the hard drive space. And what's going to be the answer at Best Buy? What's going to be the answer at Walmart? What's going to be the answer? Because of a Blu-ray player, you know? And majority of the gamers are not, a 4K Blu-ray player. And the majority of the gamers are not going to be 4K gamers. So they'll be like, well, I don't have a 4K TV. Let me get that $199 console. It has more hard drive space. It has what I need. You know what I'm saying? You know? A $399, I think there's a 2 terabyte, $399, Xbox One S. This holiday, if Sony releases a Neo, it will go ahead with that. Because you got $399 here, and the Neo's going to be $399. They're going to be like, oh, shit, okay, what's the big difference? Neo is a 4.2 teraflop console. The Xbox One S is still, in essence, an Xbox One S. It's not the Scorpio. And you won't have the Scorpio to compete with the Neo for a whole year. So for this whole year, the PlayStation 4 Neo is on its own. It doesn't have a competition. It doesn't have appropriate competition until the Scorpio comes out, you know? So you given, this Neo has its free reign for a whole year. It has a nice free reign for the whole year. So that's my opinion why I don't think Xbox One S is going to catch up. I think the real battle for Microsoft in terms of console market share is the penetration, the console market penetration for the Scorpio. You know, that 4K segment of gaming. You know, how much would that sell in comparison to the Neo? And I can't even speculate on that one until we see more about the Neo and the Scorpio and the prices, because prices is going to be huge. The prices on these devices is going to be huge, you know? So we'll talk more on that. But anyway, I'm going to leave it off right there. Let me know what you thought. Let me know what you thought about my commentary, my opinions. You know what I'm saying? Put up some comments, like or dislike. You know what I'm saying? Give me a feeler of what's going on and your personal opinion. But please do leave some comments, all right? If it's your first time here, please subscribe. And I'm pushing out more content, you know, more commentaries. And just hit me up on Twitter, you know, PorterRock77. So anyway, I appreciate it for you guys to join me. And to the most passionate community here on YouTube, the gamers. I appreciate for everything you do. You guys have an amazing passion. I see it on YouTube. I see it on Twitter. And at the end of the day, I'll just touch on this. I see videos of everybody, you know, making fun of each other, corporate slave, whatever, fanboy. At the end of the day, all we're doing is talking about a hobby that we all enjoy. You understand what I'm saying? That's really what comes down to it. We're having conversations about a hobby we all enjoy. And at the end of the day, we're not affecting each other's pockets, or we're not preventing from us enjoying our own console, okay? At the end of the day, when I log off for YouTube and I log off for Twitter and I'm on that sucker right there, I'm enjoying what I'm playing, you know? And it doesn't matter what people in the social media, whether it's a pro comment or anti-comment, it doesn't matter. Because what I do here, that's what makes me happy, and that's how you all should feel the same way, all right? Well, anyway, to the gamers, always keep it gaming. Enjoy yourself. Thank you for stopping by. Please subscribe. Hit me up on Twitter. Follow me, you know, and let's make this grow, okay? Tune in to my next podcast, 60 Frames No Lag, every Sunday, 6 p.m. Eastern Time, okay? I'll push out some information later on in the week on what the topic and who my special guest will be, all right? Until then, keep it gaming, all right? PorterRock77 out.